is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are San Diego.
Welcome to Arizona, the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona. Magnificent topography. And baseball spring training is here. It's the 20th year here at the Peoria Sports Complex, shared by the Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres. And the Padres, trying to build off that tremendous finish of a year ago, will entertain today from the American League the Chicago White Sox. Some cloudy skies. It's been blue clear all this week and mighty warm, very comfortable today. Welcome aboard. First of our 10 spring training telecasts. You'll see every game all season long here on Fox Sports San Diego. And this fellow next to me in his 18th season, Mark Grant. And good to be back, huh?
It is good to be back. You know, the crack of the ball off the bat, the sound of the ball into the baseballs glove, the cleats on the concrete in the dugout. The fans here from San Diego making that trek over, the 5.5-hour drive or hour flight. It's great to see San Diego here in Peoria once again.
Clayton Richard will get the start today. This is his spring training debut. He was the workhorse last year.
Yeah, he was. He was a Clydesdale, and he has evolved into a big league pitcher and the ace of this staff. Tied for wins with 14, a career-high innings pitched. As far as games started, he grabbed the ball once every 5 days, but the walks were down. The strikeouts were down. Why? Because he was much more efficient with his pitches, working down in the zone. Remember last year, the main objective, how many ground balls can Clayton Richard get each and every time out there and then be economical with that pitch count?
And he'll go against Jake Peavy, for whom he was traded from the White Sox. We'll talk about Peavy later, the Cy Young winner when he was with San Diego. Well, super sensational was the finish last year of third baseman Chase Headley, winning the RBI crown in the National League, only the second Padre to ever do that. He wins the Gold Glove. He takes the Silver Slugger home to Tennessee, and his August and September were absolutely remarkable.
Seeing the ball extremely well out of the opposing pitcher's hand, using the whole field, but the power numbers, Dick, the one thing I look at for Chase Headley, he wasn't afraid to strike out. I think early in his career, he was worried about on-base percentage, not striking out, not putting a good swing just to put the ball in play. Now, though, that power numbers are really skyrocketing for Chase Headley. And the opposing pitchers this year, they're going to be out for him as well, so it's going to be a challenge on both ends.
You bet. We watched him this spring. He's already 5 for 9, hitting nothing but line drives. So Chase Headley and the San Diego Padres host the Chicago White Sox. Please, you're aboard spring training, our debut, 2013. we're laughing because the voice of Mark Grant shouting down to the umpire, "Don't start yet. We're not back on camera here." So Clayton Richard, always in a hurry to pitch. And he has the first one on his way to Dwayne Weiss, the leadoff hitter, left fielder for the White Sox, and the count goes 2-0. Again, Clayton Richard making his first start. Weiss is 1 for 8 on the spring. Limited duty last year, hit .258 for the Sox. And 3-0 from Clayton Richard. 200 games this year because of the extended spring training schedule, and that because of the World Baseball Classic. So after yesterday's game, a win, 190 still to go. So plenty of baseball for fans in Southern California and San Diego. A 4-pitch walk to Weiss.
And what that does, it gives extra players on the roster that come into camp some innings pitched, some at-bats with those extra games. Guys from the minor league side coming over, so the regulars don't have to start right out of the gate.
And that's why Richard isn't debuting until now. The Padres have played 10 games already, and this is the first time he's been on the mound. This is Brent Morel, 20 for 113 in limited duty with the Sox last year. 4 for 17 this spring. And Richard 5 straight balls, so catcher Nick Hundley out to talk it over with him, and that'll give us a chance to go through the Chicago White Sox lineup. Weiss, Morel, Tyler Flowers, the catcher, is the DH. Sox using the designated hitter. The Padres are not. Paul Konerko, their great star veteran at first base. Then Jimenez, Ramirez, Gartrell. They like this center fielder, Keenan Walker. He'll bat 8th. Then Gordon Beckham, the second baseman, hits 9th. And that's 6 in a row out of the zone.
Yeah, I talked to Darren Balsley before the ball game, and he said the main objective for Clayton Richard this afternoon is going to be fastballs on the glove side. And what that means is his glove side being on the right hand, down and into the righties, down and away to the lefties.
There's a strike parked out by Hal Gibson, the plate umpire.
And he threw it with a breaking ball. Fastballs aren't kind of the strike zone right now, but the breaking ball finds the first strike.
High chopper to Headley. He'll get an out at second. Back to first, not in time. Not hit hard enough, and the gold glove of Chase Headley gets a chance for an early out.
Well, last year for Clayton Richard, Dick, it was a breakthrough year. We talked about the innings pitched, tied for victories. He was 14-14, especially that many innings after coming off an injury year. And the improvement over last season, he was just lights out. Working for the ground ball, the location of the fastball. We just saw a good fastball down and in there to get that grounder.
Yeah, almost 219 innings pitched. That was the 4th most by any major league pitcher. So he was indeed the man to pick up the ball when his turn came. And there's a pride in that in the clubhouse, that when your turn arises, you're saying, yeah, give me the ball. Skipper Bud Black and Darren Balsley there to his left, appreciating the fact that you could count on innings from Clayton Richard. This is Tyler Flowers. He hit .213 last year. He had only 136 at bats and hit 7 home runs. So this young guy has some power. 2 for 5 in the spring. Breaking ball in the dirt, 2-1 the count. How much did you, how long was it in spring training before you called upon your entire pitching repertoire? 100%. I mean, this is the time with a month to go before the season opens. Right. The pitcher's going to throw more fastballs.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what Darren Balsley said about Clayton Richard. Not many breaking balls this afternoon. I've seen 2 so far, so it's location of the fastball. I would say as a starter, you're into start number 3 or 4 of spring training in that rotation. Then you're going to start to incorporate more of the off-speed stuff, the changeup, the breaking ball. Because the starting line is not far away. We're talking early right now in spring training, but, March 20th, March 25th, you're going to incorporate all your pitches.
2-2, and the pitch upstairs. Paul Konerko, power hitting first baseman, had another big year last year with 26 home runs. He just doesn't get old. He waits on deck. Count full. We'll see if manager Robin Ventura has a runner going. He does, and the ball is pulled just foul. Padres defensively are aligned this way behind Clayton Richard. In the outfield, Denorfia in left, Maben in center, and Will Venable in right. Headley, Cabrera on the left side. Jerko had a terrific spring already, and Yonder Alonso on the right side with Nick Hundley behind the plate. Jerko with 3 home runs this first week of the spring to tie Cactus League performers in that long ball category. You see, the White Sox have done their scouting. Those runners are not taking much of a lead against Clayton Richard. There's Ventura, star with the White Sox. Won 6 Gold Gloves. Runner goes, and it's ball 4. So a couple of walks here to the White Sox. That's a bit out of character for Clayton Richard. And here's Konerko.
You know, in Arizona, we always talk about the ball flying in these environs. It's dry. The wind has a tendency to blow out the flags above the batter's eye, blowing from right to left. You get anything elevated, even with that slight little breeze, it's going to go.
37 years old is Konerko, and still just under 300 last year with power numbers. It's the third and last year of his contract with the White Sox. He's playing here in Arizona, back home. Went to high school over in Scottsdale. Came over from the Reds to the White Sox in a trade for former Padre Mike Cameron in '98. So he's been a long-term performer on the south side of Chicago.
Remember last year, last few months, he had that wrist injury. So spring training here, you know, going into it, not full bore, but getting some at-bats. Be interesting to see how many at-bats Konerko gets this afternoon.
Give you an idea how much he's contributed to the run production for the White Sox. Among active first basemen, Pujols with 372 homers and Konerko 371. Line drive to Headley, and that's a double play. Well, first inning and a double play already. Not the routine 6-4-3, but the Headley busy at third. Turns 2, and the Padres coming up. What a view, this beautiful area from a hot air balloon as the Padres come up bottom of the first inning here at the Peoria Complex northwest of downtown Phoenix. Well, the Fox Sports San Diego made quite an acquisition in the offseason from the Tampa Rays, University of Florida. We welcome Laura McKeeman.
Thank you so much, Dick. I'm so glad to be here and be part of the team. Let's talk about the Padres. What they did in the winter could be viewed as relatively quiet. Other teams scrambled to put together a great product for 2013, but San Diego felt they already had the pieces they needed to be successful, and they instilled a confidence in their guys. Chase Headley talks about that here.
didn't make a lot of changes. We have a lot of the same guys that are on this team, and I think that's a positive. We didn't have to blow up and start over. You know, this is a roster that doesn't have a lot of work to do on it, and that's ultimately where you want to be.
Yeah, thank you, Laura, for that report. And Josh Burns, the general manager, will be joining us shortly, and we'll talk about just that fact that the Padres stayed with what got them to the finish line last year with a terrific August and September.
I think everybody would like to forget the first month and a half of 2012.
Everett Cabrera with a count now 1-2 on the Padres shortstop and the National League stolen base champion, the first Padre to be the best in the league in base steals. Off the fist, he curls that one foul. He's hitting 4 for 15 on the spring, Cabrera. And honored again by his home country, Nicaragua, naming him their athlete of the year for the second time.
Would there be anybody else? Absolutely not. A great year for Everett. And a little bit more relaxed, I would think, this spring training as well. That goes a long way.
He's taken more pitches, and of course that was one of the goals for Cabrera in improving his performance, and he showed that late last year. You know, he at Petco hit 273, had a good second half, rips that one foul, and he's made good contact this spring.
Well, right out of the shoot, Jake Peavy's throwing all of his pitches, the fastball and the slider.
Here's the lineup for Bud Black today. Venable follows Cabrera. Then it's Headley. Alonso hits cleanup. Jerko, you'll see him for the first time. Outstanding minor league. Then Denorfia, Maven, Huntley, and Clayton Richard. Padres now using the DH. Richard will get a chance to bat, perhaps. That's taken on the outside corner, and Peavy, a strikeout pitcher, takes care of Cabrera.
Well, it's hard to believe that Jake Peavy's into his 5th season with the Chicago White Sox. Always a horse. He's going to get that ball and go right after. But right now, because of the injury and the age, he's only 31, but still a lot of innings. More finesse than power. He's going to get his strikeouts, but he's learned to be more of a control-type pitcher.
Venable fouls it away. Peavy last year was 11-12. ERA 3.37. Like Richard, made 32 starts and struck out 194. As he continues through his career on a strikeout rampage. And with the Padres, won the Cy Young 6 years ago. Is it really that long? 19-6 that year. Yep. What a season. 2.54 ERA. Venable loops one into center field, and the Padres have their first hit of the game. Here's the White Sox defense behind Peavy. Jimenez behind the plate with Weiss, Walker, and Gartrell in the outfield. Morel, Ramirez left side, Beckham at second, Konerko at first base, and Peavy on the mound. The White Sox here in the spring have won 4, lost 2, and tied 2. Padres come in at 5-5. Headley lines one into the gap, left center field. That's going to roll to the wall. On his horse is Venable. Around third, he'll come in to score, and Headley doesn't waste any time, and he drives in the run. 1-0 San Diego.
Well, he's leaving off where it was last year, right? RBI here, RBI there, leading the league, and he drives in Will Venable going the opposite way. A Jake Peavy fastball. He stays inside nicely, and just like that, the Padres are on the board.
You can see it in his eyes, Headley, that he just, he's gone through a career where he's had great promise, always a good player. And then last year, those last 2 months, he leans back, he says, you know what? I'm really a good player.
Absolutely.
And his greatness certainly felt around the league. He wound up the 5th best in the MVP award in the National League. That one sliced to the line on a good running catch by Wise. And Headley, playing it halfway, hustles back to the bag. So Alonso out. And a fly ball to left, and that brings up Jed Jerko.
Well, long run off the left-handed bat of Alonso, so that ball is going to be tailing towards the line. Wise makes it look easy.
Playing Alonso not to pull. Well, here's Jerko, the 24-year-old from Morgantown, West Virginia. He has 3 home runs this spring. Last year, at 2 stops in the Padre minor league system, he hit a combined 311, 30 homers, 100 runs batted in, and that was in only 499 at bats. And he's had him wowing in batting practice the way the ball flies off his bat. In a game at Maryville against Milwaukee last week, he hit a Ruthian 430-foot shot to straightaway center. Like a game earlier this week, he called his shot as a watch out right back toward us, something we said.
You know, it's not just the power numbers, but also the average, as you mentioned, Dick. One of those stops being in Tucson for Jed Jerko. 328 in 92 games down in the old Pueblo.
Fouled that way. Padres not only like his big bat, and if he makes the club at second base, and that was his position at University of West Virginia, so it's not like it's totally foreign to him. And he's turned a couple of double plays, you know, a tough throw, a low throw, and able to skip out of the way and make a solid throw to first to complete a double play. So far, Jerko getting A grades with the bat and the glove. And the count goes full. And when you meet him and talk to him, he says, "Hey, right away, I'm bland." He said, I don't get too excited.
Right, that's good.
I don't get down on myself. He exudes confidence, but not cockiness. And he goes after a PV. Tough breaking ball there. It's a big league pitch from PV, and the Padres are out in the first. But a Venable single, and Chase Headley in form early here in the spring drives him home with a double. It's 1-0 after 1. Out on the grassy bank in the outfield, a $7 ticket. Have a little baseball picnic here at Peoria as we welcome you back and bring in Josh Burns, the Padres general manager, who's been a busy man, not only examining the big club, but looking at the youngsters in the minor league and scouting collegians. When do you sleep?
I go to bed early this time of year, get up early, but it is a great time of year, like you said. You see the big leagues and getting a camp of 67 down to 25, go out to the backfield, see some of the kids we just drafted, and then there was a college tournament here this weekend. Saw a few games there.
Hector Jimenez, 5 for 7 on the spring. This right-handed hitting catcher who played at Charlotte last year, hit 14 home runs. 1-0 Padres, top of the second. How about Headley? Yeah, first game on television. He gets a line drive double play and then a double. Fine play by Cabrera. That great arm takes that high hopper spring training hard infield and turns it into a relatively easy play for him. Oh.
Well, you know what to expect from Everett Cabrera. We've seen him make that play many times and make it look easy. And my question to you, Josh, is we've seen Everett, right? But does Jed Jerko, does it surprise you? Or are you not surprised at the way he has swung the bat and played at this big league level in spring training?
Not surprised. You know, he's I heard you guys talking last inning. I mean, he's a better infielder, better second baseman, I think, than people expected. His body would suggest he's a good athlete. He can certainly hit. And his makeup, as far as fitting in and being confident, you know, he's ready to go. He's ready to try to win this job.
White Sox were in a path, hitting the ball to the left side to Headley, another high hopper. Here's some of Jerko. There's one of his shots here at Peoria that way up on the bank. And take a look at this one. This one I was referring to at Milwaukee. It's 410 to center. That ball lands 30 feet beyond the wall. And then defensively, covering the ground. He has a nice calmness about it, doesn't he?
He sure does. You know, it's funny because we, as people know, we couldn't call him up in September. We didn't because our 40-man was so clogged. And as of today, he's still not on our 40-man roster because it was a 2010 draft. But I called him and explained it to him, and I felt like this year he wouldn't be the nervous rookie. He'd be in here and trying to put on a good show.
Stefan Gartrell flies out to center fielder Maben. 1-2-3 for Clayton Richard in the second. We'll continue with General Manager Josh Burns after this. To the spring home of the Padres, Peoria Complex. And the first pitch to Chris Denorfia from PB is rattled right up the middle for a base hit. The third Padre hit is Denorfia, who will not be with the club after today. He's going to join the Italian team in the World Baseball Classic. And you'll see it perform there 4 years ago. Looking forward to working on his Italian.
And not only that, but how about Chris Denorfia going back to the prospect look? No facial hair, short haircut, and going right up the middle like a youngster. Swung the bat well.
He had to clean it up for the WBC.
Yeah.
He's one of several Padres, major leaguers and minor leaguers, who are going to be involved in the World Baseball Classic, including bench coach Rick Renteria. He's going to manage the Mexico team. Adrian Gonzalez on that team. Volquez will pitch for the Dominican Republic. Denorfia, Italy. Luke Gregerson is the Padre rep on the U.S. team. And some minor leaguers, Adamson, Hardy, and Merchant also will be competing. A lot of that action here in Arizona.
Hey, watch out for Equipo España. Spain is going to be tough this year.
They beat Team Israel, led by Brad Auspis and Mark Loretta.
Bunt try by Maben. Kicks foul. Cameron trying to complete the work that he did in the second half of the season last year. Remember the dismal start in midseason? He was under 200. And then he came home with a really a great turn and hit 286. Now, if he can hit at that level, Josh Burns, you're going to be a happy GM.
Yeah, that was as you guys know, it's rare to see a guy really change his swing that much in season. He did. He got results. So hopefully it carries over. He looks great physically. So we're excited for camp.
I remember that. I think it was in Arizona. He hit a monster shot to left center field.
Longest of the season there.
And remember, it was all incorporating the leg kick and getting rid of the leg kick.
Sure.
It just turned it around. It was great to see. And believe me, he's an accountable kid. And, Josh, you know him better than anybody. But nobody felt worse than Cameron Maben last year at that point.
There's no doubt. I mean, if he missed a couple games, I think, in St. Louis mid-season, his wrist was sore because he was getting in the park at noon and taking so many swings.
On cue, he rips that one into the left field corner, and Denorfia, with the play in front of him, takes a strong turn at second, and they're going to wave him home. Here comes the relay, going to be close, and Denorfia in to throw to third, and Maben slides around the tag.
We've done that a few times this spring where the lead runner pushes a play, the trail runner's doing what he's supposed to do, so that's a good sign in spring training.
That is a great
double for Maben.
Great sign. Everything working in unison. First of all, the ball put in play, gets extended out in front. Then everybody's off and running. Glenn Hoffman, he kind of backs up in the third base coach's box to get a good perspective. And thank goodness this ball is thrown high by Alexi Ramirez. Denorfia goes right under. And then Cameron, rounding second base, takes third, watching the throw go through, and 90 feet away from the third run for San Diego.
So 2-0 the Padre lead. No one out, and Maben at third. Infield playing back up the middle, and at third base, only first baseman Canerco bag high. There's Nick Hundley, who struggled last year, had knee surgery in the offseason, but he's had a good spring. Nick is 6 for 14, 3 doubles.
He sure has. He's had a nice block in the first inning. He's throwing the ball well. So, you know, based on what he did in 2010, 2011, he looks like he's right back on that track. So hopefully the injuries and everything that could go wrong went wrong last year, but he looks like he's back to being Nick Hundley.
And one of those things going wrong for you, Yasmani Grandal, the bad news that he was suspended 50 games. So Hundley, it's really on his shoulders and John Baker for the first 2 months of the year.
No doubt. I mean, I think we have 2 starting caliber catchers, and obviously the Grandal news was disappointing. It was a blow, but Nick will step in there. I'm sure he'll do a great job. And to give Yasmani credit, he's this time of year with the media and with his teammates, he's handled it. And he's out working, and obviously wants to accept the punishment, but get back to playing and be remembered for what he does on the field.
Ball 2 strikes now. The infield pulls in with 2 strikes on Hundley, and he rips one to left center field. That one's up the gap. Maben walks in with the third run, and Hundley goes to second with his 4th double of this first week of spring. That's the kind of hitting that'll please all of his fans, one of the most popular of the San Diego Padres.
Well, the one thing I've noticed, I know it's been a full off season, but the one thing that really significantly sticks out to me, Josh, and Hundley, the bat is laying back more rather than straight up in the air. Going to have to talk to Nick about that, and Alonzo Powell and Phil Plantier, but that might be a change that Nick has done this offseason, and it's paying off right there, splitting the gap for a double.
You're absolutely right. He and Phil worked on that through the winter months, and it's funny. He and Cam Maben made some swing adjustments. It looked like they've been good adjustments for them, but there's no doubt Nick's changed his swing a little bit. It looks like for the better.
He just looks more comfortable at the plate right there.
Yeah.
There's Clayton Richard. We'll see if he can move Hundley to third with a sacrifice. The last time Richard batted in a game, he hit a home run. The last game in Milwaukee, his first major league home run. He had remember that key pinch hit in the 13th inning against the Angels that led to a great win at Petco. He'll get one now and then, mostly then. 6 for 69 last year.
But to go hand in hand with the base running, we want to see our pitchers get their bunts down. This is a situation in a game that we want this run. So hopefully Clayton can do it.
And misses there. 2 strikes on him. Now, the reason Bud Black is not using the designated hitter, it's not that he wanted Richard necessarily to get at bat, but he felt it's going to be important to get into the swing of pinch hitters. Instead of using a DH that might hit 2 or 3 times today, this will be a chance today to use pinch hitters and get guys ready. Hey, you never know when you're going to be up there, so be ready.
Sure, he did that with Jerka a few days ago, and a hitter of that caliber's never pinch hit before. I think literally never. And sure enough, first pitch, home run.
And he called that. We heard that he went up there saying, "I'm going to hit one out to right center," and did.
Yeah, he did. But we'll keep that in the in the background for now. But that was good. Get off the bench, see a fastball, and he smoked it.
And with 2 strikes on him, Richard lays down a perfect sacrifice bunt. Well done.
You can see from that side shot, Clayton Richard way up in the box. His front, see how close his front foot is to the chalk line, giving him more fair territory to work with on that bunt. And he's putting on a clinic for all the people here in Peoria. That's the way to put the sacrifice bunt down.
Yeah, they do a lot of work on those backfields with Dave Roberts, and Clayton's technique is very good. Some need a little more work, but it's good to see him do it right.
Everett Cabrera back to the leadoff man. He took a 3rd strike his first time up. Infield is in for the White Sox. Yeah, just missed. Well, there's some. Well, your team is pretty well set, Josh Burns, and you didn't make a lot of major changes in the off year. There are some interesting decisions ahead for you and Bud Black and the organization before April 1, when the Padres open against the Mets in New York. You've got, assuming Jerko continues to play the way he is and makes the team, and he's not on the 40-man roster. Now you've got Amarista and Logan Forsythe, 2 valuable properties. You can't keep all 3, can you?
I don't think so. Forsythe played short yesterday for the 2nd time. So, you know, he hits lefties very well. Cabrera, at least last year, was much better against right-handed pitching. That's a consideration. If Logan can pick up some starts against left-handed pitchers at shortstop. Of course, we know Amarista can play anywhere. So it's a good problem to have, much like when Grandal comes back, that we have depth, but we have versatile players, so we can move our roster around, and we're not stuck with options or anything like that. So it's fun to watch. But as you said, with Jerko coming on, if in fact he can make the club, it'll certainly affect a few things.
Anthony Bass has completed his warm-ups in the bullpen. Since this is Clayton's first outing, he has completed his day, 2 innings. Bass is coming in.
Well, what a luxury it is, Josh, to have players to where you can put them anywhere and feel comfortable by putting them at second, at short, at third, or even in the outfield.
I think that's, you know, people don't talk about our offense or position players as much, but when we started playing better the last 3 or 4 months, it was a good 1 through 13 group, left, right, move guys around, in-game moves for Buddy, and just a lot of players starting with Venable and Denorfia or Amarista or what, you know, Guzman, who can play multiple positions. It definitely makes the roster work better.
Full count again on Cabrera. He took a 3rd strike the first time up on a 3-2 pitch. And he takes ball 4, so 1st and 3rd. So Peavy gives up a single to Denorfia. Back-to-back doubles Maben and Hundley to drive in 2 to make it 3-0. And now Cabrera with a walk, 1st and 3rd with 1 away. Well, you mentioned Logan Forsythe. Yesterday in the game that the Padres won, there's the man from Arkansas, Forsythe, with 2 triples. Now in his major league career, he's had a total of 4. 2, but get this, in the same inning. In Padres history, no one's ever done that. Beauty of the game. You come out, you never know what might be new.
That was pretty neat. We were talking to him this morning. We said he probably tied a record. I don't think anyone's ever done 3 in an inning.
Venable pops it up on the left side. That's Morel circling under it, and the wind taking that one back to make it a mild adventure for the 2nd out. Well, Chase Headley doubled in the first run of the game, steps in.
Now, Forsythe was out at these college games as Arkansas Razorbacks were in town playing in a tournament, so he was out checking out his alma mater.
And just to see Forsythe on a 1st and 3rd play, going from 1st to 3rd, I don't think anyone hits that bag at 2nd and roars to 3rd any better than he does.
He's one of the fastest guys on the team, sure.
Headley, high fly ball. That's going to be playable. Weiss gives ground to center fielder Walker for the final out. The Padres get 2 on 3 hits, lead 3-0. And we thank Josh Burns. I'm sure you'll have time to visit with us as we get 10 TV games this year.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Josh. Padres off to a good start against the White Sox today.
Welcome back to Peoria, White Sox and Padres, and we're in the top of the third. Padres lead 3-0, and I'm here with Clayton Richard. Clayton, first start of spring training. I know we're not seeing your full repertoire of pitches, but how did you feel today?
It was kind of a little bit of a roller coaster. Felt pretty bad starting off, but was able to correct a few things, get on top of the ball a little bit, and have a pretty good second inning.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for you with the walks there early, but then 1, 2, 3 second inning. What started clicking?
I think just getting on top of the ball, being down in the zone a little bit more, and throwing strikes, of course. That's the big thing, just being able to throw strikes and get ahead.
And how about that sac bunt you put down?
Hey, I know. That's a fun thing about baseball, being that I know we get to do that stuff. So I was glad Buddy gave me the opportunity to get up there and get in a bat in that situation and get one of those out of the way this spring.
Okay, so obviously we have a whole other month until the season starts, but at this point in time, I mean, how do you feel about yourself and the team as a whole?
I think we're getting there. We're progressing. At this time of year, you really can't tell a lot, but we're working every day, trying to get a little bit better. There's definitely things we need to improve on. I think we're making strides in that direction.
All right, thank you so much. Dick?
And thank you, Laura. And Clayton Richard gets through 2 innings, no hits, gave up a couple of walks early, but helped out on a line drive double play. It's Anthony Bass on the mound, the Wayne State Detroit Star against Keenan Walker. They like this young player.
Oh, good pitch.
Good runner, and Anthony Bass locks him in. Strikeout for Bass, facing his first man.
Well, in the interview, Clayton Richard was talking about staying on top of the baseball, making an adjustment. When he works around the baseball, the hand kind of dips on the side, and you're throwing on the side, not staying on top. The ball will have a tendency to leak up and out of the strike zone. And it's a very fine line, Dick, between staying on top of the baseball and just working underneath it a little bit. He made the adjustment, and the results were there.
It's all in the wrist being turned so that...
It's almost as if you were to scrape your knuckles on the ceiling. You're throwing a baseball, and your knuckles are being scraped on the ceiling. If you're working on the side of the ball...
High fly ball, Gordon Beckham, Maben circling under it. And 2 away here in the Sox third.
If you're working on the side of the ball, the ball would be exposed and rubbing on the top of the ceiling. So stay on top of it, scrape those knuckles. And we take a look at Anthony Bass's numbers last year. He really evolved into a big league pitcher, making some great strides.
Didn't have a chance to talk with Josh Burns about the pitching rotation, and that certainly has the most question marks as to the men that will be in the 5 starting rotation. It'll be Richard and Volquez. And then who are the other 3? Anthony Bass as the leading candidate, and his performance in the spring will dictate whether or not he's one of those 5.
Veteran Jason Marquis talked to Darren Balsley about him. He said he's in midseason form. He is really throwing the ball extremely well.
This is leadoff man Dwayne Wise. He walked his first time, 1-1 the count on him. Yeah, Marquis, we saw him pitch the other day, and it looked like the Marquis before the injury. I mean, he just is such a veteran.
You know what you're going to get, right?
Yeah. And such a good man, a veteran in the clubhouse. He knows how to play, knows how to work with the young men, no nonsense. He and Mark Kotze are a nice 1-2 combo with a young team.
And one's a pitcher, obviously, one's a position player. I think that's a great combo.
If only Kotze could hit a little bit. He's 8 for 10 this spring.
Yeah, and they're not little dunkers either. He's squaring the ball up nicely early in the spring.
3-1 now to Wise. That one will be a souvenir. Unfortunately, it caroms off an empty seat, and a young fan will have it.
Yeah, not a clean catch by one of those fans. But remember, it's spring training for the fans as well. They've got to get, used to those line drives coming at them.
You have to charge those,
Bring your glove to the ballpark, especially here in spring training. A greater chance of getting a souvenir.
Held on a play. There was a funny incident.
Now that's a play.
Yeah, you got to play this. He brought a glove too, didn't he? I think he's got it hidden in the left hand there. Gives it to the youngster. Everything right there.
Awesome.
Yeah, look at that. He's got a glove the size of your head.
That's a 7 5/8 then. Close to an 8. You betcha.
He struck him out. Middle of the third. It's 3-0 Padres in. We'll see Jerko at the bottom of the inning. A couple in the foreground face the other way. I guess they're White Sox fans. 3-0 Padres. First of 10 telecasts this spring. And tomorrow, right back with you at noon. The Padres will be over at Surprise against the Texas Rangers. And you'll see the right-hander that made all the headlines from Japan last year, Yu Darvish, will start for the Rangers. Eric Stoltz gets the go for San Diego. We'll give you the entire spring training schedule as Yonder Alonso didn't quite get all of that, and loops one into center field for the putout. Here's our TV schedule this spring. You might want to mark it. We'll be with you the next 2 days. Tomorrow at noon against the Rangers, and then back here in Peoria against the Dodgers on Tuesday. The A's, the Giants on March 12th. Angels, Mariners. They share, of course, this complex during the spring. Brewers, and then in San Antonio, those are the last 2 games just before the opening of the season against the Rangers. Popped high behind home plate by Jerko, and the catch made by Jimenez. 2 away. 2 quick outs here in the third for spring training. A game moving along at a good pace.
Well, Jake Peavy throwing a lot of fastballs, right? These hitters know that they're probably going to get a fastball one of the first 2 pitches. He's throwing some breaking stuff, but that one elevated just enough to where Jerko that is, got underneath it to pop it up to the catcher.
There's Peavy's record as a Padre, still the all-time leader in strikeouts, 192 games.
He's a Bulldog. No matter if it's spring training, opening day, all-star break, September start.
Made the all-star team last year.
He's out there to win it.
And has recovered from some nasty injuries. The injury to tearing
latissimus dorsi.
You know, that your shoulder blade tore the tendon right off his shoulder.
I've never heard of that injury until Jake Peavy came up with it. And what do you know? Anybody to come back from that, Jake Peavy did, and put up some great numbers last year.
Pulled to the left side. Morel across to Konerko, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Peavy. After 3, the Padres lead by 3. From Arizona, Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball by Sequan Casino. Get away for the day at the close and friendly Sequan Casino, celebrating 30 years of gaming in San Diego. Well, the White Sox announcer, Hawk Harrelson, taking the day off. Little perch on the saguaro. Now that's a tough bird.
That is a tough bird. Standing on that prickly pear cacti. Is that a saguaro?
I think it is. Yeah. Majestic, aren't they? As
I
you
know
make
my
the drive
cactus.
up from Gila Bend.
Beautiful.
You see that's like a forest of
Love
cacti.
Driving through the desert in the spring.
You do?
Love it.
Bass into his second inning. Morel, Flowers, and then Konerko for the White Sox. Morel Bounced into a fielder's choice his first time. Bass with a solid 1-2-3 inning back in the third. We made the long drive over last a week ago today from San Diego and through Yuma, Gila Bend, and up here to Peoria, about a 5.5-hour drive. A lot of the fans from San Diego come over for a nice baseball weekend, spring training.
Oh, good slider from Anthony Bass. Remember last year, that was one of the pitches that he really tried to put into use and throw it for good strikes. You know, occasionally a pitcher will throw it off the plate, and these big league hitters, you know, they'll just spin on it because they can recognize it. This one's got good tilt to it, and if taken, probably a called strike. So a good quality pitch by Anthony.
So Bass has struck out 3 of the 4 men that he's faced. Here's Flowers. He walked, facing starter Clayton Richard. And driving through Yuma just reminded me, and of course it reminds you of your days in Yuma when the Padres trained there. They moved over here 20 years ago, after '94. Right. And we did games down there in spring training, and you just kind of felt alone in Yuma in a way, didn't you?
Not much going on.
Well, the dog track at night.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of bad tickets there. A lot of torn up tickets.
But you could get a burger there, and I always was a little suspicious, but it, you know, it was entertainment. That old 3-Dog, you know, killed me. I just went for the 3-Dog every time, you know.
On the menu or at the track?
And then Rabbit always won. That was the thing.
Yeah. Rusty, right?
Rusty the Rabbit. Yeah. 2-1 now to Tyler Flowers. And Bass falls behind.
Tyler Flowers, he's DHing today, but behind the plate, that's where he makes his dough. We got Jimenez behind the plate today. He calls a good game. Flowers threw out 30% last year.
And rips a single to left field. That's the first hit for the White Sox. Good quick fielding by DeNorfia will hold it to a long single.
Nice short, quick stroke from the big right-handed hitting catcher. Getting some pitches seen today in the DH slot.
And here's Konerko with a chance with one of his big swings to get the Sox back close. Lined into a double play. Lined it to Headley to close out the first inning. Jeff Gray, a right-hander, getting loose in the White Sox bullpen. And now Addison Reed is also throwing. See whether or not it'll be Reed to pitch in the bottom half of this inning against the Padres. Good looking pitch. 2-0 to Konerko.
Oh, it's hard to believe for Paul Konerko. This is year 15 as a White Sox. Where does the time go? It's unbelievable. And of course, with his numbers, you know, creeping up the leaderboards in all the offensive categories.
Behind give in, throw him a breaking ball, 3-2.
Talk about the greats, White Sox, you know, Frank Thomas up there with Harold Baines. Home runs, RBIs, doubles. The complete player each and every year.
As we mentioned the last year on this White Sox contract, you wonder if he'll be a Chicago player next year. Takes on the outside corner. And it's 2-2. Scoreboard was off, now corrected, 2-2.
Well, does he go? Oh, if he hit that one, it would have been a double. He went.
Maybe a sarcastic double.
Yeah. Well, here,
triple.
Exactly. Here in Arizona, you're absolutely right, Professor.
Lined again, one hopper to Cabrera. That should be 2. Jerko turns it. Throw off line, tag Alonso, a double play. 6-4-3. So Konerko hitting into 2 double plays today. Bass, meanwhile, taking care of 3 opposing hitters with strikeouts. It's 3-0.
Welcome back to Peoria Sports Complex. Bottom of the fourth inning. Padres lead the White Sox 3-0. And I'm here with Corey Brock, MLB.com, Padres.com beat writer. He's been around for 7 years, is it?
7 years. This is my 7th season covering the team.
That's awesome. And you've been in camp this entire time. Let's start by talking about Jed Jerko, a prospect a lot of people are interested in for that second base job. He's impressed both offensively and defensively. What have you seen from him?
I've seen a pretty live bat, Laura. This is a guy we have to remember. He had 30 home runs in the minor leagues last year. There's going to be a period of adjustment as he kind of learns all the not so subtle nuances of playing second base. Offensively, I think his bat can play at the major league level. It's easy going to have to work with Everett Cabrera at shortstop, some actions around the bag. But, I think that's the beauty of having 6 weeks in Arizona is you don't only get to work on your tan, you get to work on your double play turns.
Give me a couple of young players that you're really watching, maybe some young pitchers that have impressed you.
Oh, I think Tyson Ross is an intriguing name. The pitcher they got from the A's, a big live arm. He came out 96, 96, 95 his first time out. And, he's trying to harness some control things. But, again, I think he's got some time on his side. I think that's a trade with some big upside for the team. Anthony Bass, who we're watching pitch now, is a guy who got off to a really strong start last year, got injured. I think he might be a sleeper to win a job in the rotation. And then we have a whole bunch of young guys in camp, and it's kind of fun to watch those guys because, the Padres minor league system is very highly regarded, and I think we're going to see a lot of these guys for years to come.
All right. Thank you so much, Corey. You can check all of his stuff on Padres.com, MLB.com. Dick, he is an expert on all of this stuff.
All right, Laura. Excellent writer, and he's a diligent reporter, Corey Brock.
Yeah, we're lucky to have him. Good egg.
Yeah, we're seeing a very promising young right-hander in the mound from San Diego as Maben flies it out to center field for the first out. Addison Reed, who went to San Diego State, a product of Rancho Cucamonga High School, Los Osos. And as a rookie last year, he stormed onto the scene. In fact, he set a single-season record for a White Sox rookie with 29 saves. He's just 24 years of age.
Yeah, impressive arm strength from the right hander. Throws across his body, so a little deception there in that three-quarter arm slot. So tough on righties, and don't underestimate his fastball. He gets it up to the mid-90s.
Nick Hundley doubled in a run his first time up. And Jesus Guzman with a bat is in the on-deck circle. Apparently will hit for Anthony Bass.
Last time Nick Hundley was up at the plate, I mentioned his bat. Remember, in the years past, his bat was more straight up. Now he's laying that bat back. That's one of the adjustments Josh Burns was talking about. See how his bat head is laying more parallel with the ground. Before, it used to be straight up in the air like an antenna. Well, he wasn't getting much of a signal on the antenna when the bat head was up. Now he's laying it down. And I would think, from a logical standpoint, it's easier to start the bat in the bat plane through the zone from being flatter than up top. The bat has farther to travel. How do you like that for geometry?
Impressive. 2 strikes now on Hundley. So many hitters concentrate on not letting that barrel end of the bat drop below a level area, because then you're really in trouble hitting up on the ball. That they overcompensate and bring it too high.
That's a good point. Very good point. And I think Nick did just that.
Well, Hundley's hit well this spring with 7 hits, 4 of them doubles. Take strike 3. Reed gets Maben to fly out and Hundley to strike out.
Looked like Nick Hundley was guessing there. That was a good old-fashioned fastball from Addison Reed. Middle in.
With Tony Gwynn's Aztecs, he was 8-2 and a 2.50 ERA just 3 years ago. So he's made the jump to the big leagues with his talent, making the club last year, and he's counting on being one of their top men in the bullpen, maybe their closer. Guzman, his first at bat. He's 4 for 13 this spring. Well, here's another situation that's going to be a little delicate as we move through March. Guzman, who is a terrific right-handed pinch hitter, knows how to play, the outfield first base. But Kyle Blanks has had a rip-roaring spring so far, and so one of those two won't make the club.
The injury bug. When you think of Kyle Blanks, he has had some bad luck with the injuries. Josh Burns said, in between innings when he was here, talked about Kyle Blanks swinging the bat extremely well. The home runs aren't there quite yet, but it might take some time, but he's looking good up at the plate.
He's got a .583 on-base percentage. That's the best in the Cactus League, not just the Padres. He's 9 for 18. Kyle Blanks so far. 2 strikes now to Guzman, and a steady diet of breaking pitches coming from young Addison Reed. Looks like he has a good slider.
Yeah, thrown across his body like that, along with the slider on the outer part of the plate, that's going to be tough to hit, especially if you're a right-handed hitter. There it is again. A back foot from Guzman going out from underneath, and that means his timing's off, trying to reach for it and stay back on it. When that back foot slips out from under the hitter, the right-handed hitter, that back foot, you lose all your power.
Well, you got left as your hands, and you hope you can put it in place, say, to right center. Trying to hit the outside corner with a fastball, setting it up with slider away, and then trying to nibble on the outer edge. 2-2 the count. A.J. Hinch there with Josh Burns, who was kind enough to spend an inning with us. There, fans, is two really bright men. You would want to take a test with either one, against either one. IQ test. That one ripped to the first baseman. Canerco takes a base hit away from Guzman. Padres go in order. We've completed 4. San Diego leads it.
Angie.
Padres 3 runs on 5 hits and 3 productive doubles. Chase Headley doubled in the first run of the game after a single by Venable in the first inning off Jake Peavy, and then a pair of doubles. Maven into the left field corner, followed by Nick Hundley's blast to left center, and the Padres get 2 more in a 3-0 lead. Hundley double or nothing so far in the spring. 4 doubles for the Padre catcher. Tim Stauffer takes the hill for San Diego, and just the fact that he's back pitching is good news. What a terrific guy, and the injury last year, and many thought that his baseball career was over at age 30. He's making a comeback, and his first outing was impressive.
Absolutely, and he's a kid you want to really root for and see him do really well. Getting a chance here in the spring, as you mentioned, Dick, back from injury. But the one thing Darren Balsley said before this ball game today, he was expecting Tim's velocity to be around 85, 84 miles an hour. He's actually up around 87, 88. That might not seem like a lot, but that means that he's getting on top of the ball, he's getting through the ball, getting good extension. And remember, he got hurt. Remember, he was doing a game. He felt like he wasn't getting extended, and that's what led to the injury. Now he's getting extended, getting that velocity.
Yeah, pitched just 1 game, and then his whole season gone last year. And speaking of velocity, at his best, he's 89-90.
Sure.
So he's working his way right back to what he was 2 years ago. Padres opening day pitcher. Hector Jimenez, the catcher, hit the ball behind a hopper over Headley that Cabrera made a fine play to throw him out. Here's his mechanics.
Well, he stays over the ball extremely well, getting through the baseball nicely. Good fielding position. Oh, nice changeup right there from Stauffer. Good action late.
Jimenez, Ramirez, and Gartrell in the Chicago 5th inning. No runs, 1 hit. The only base hit, a single by Flowers off Anthony Bass in the last inning. Chicago's lone hit. Just missed there, 1 and 2.
Well, he tries to keep it simple. Not a lot of moving parts. I love the over the head, little leg kick and turn to kind of disguise that ball, hide that ball a little bit, because he's not going to blow the ball by hitters. It's all about location and movement for Tim Stauffer.
Tough to pick him up because he doesn't have that big extension.
Right.
So the ball comes out of his uniform.
Kind of a short armor, if you want to describe it that way, sure.
From Saratoga, New York, Tim Stauffer and Richmond University.
The Spiders.
Absolutely. You know, we were thinking about it, and of course, the Latin players, don't have the opportunity to go to college. They're signed out of the high school. What a collegiate group this is for the Padres. I mean, look at the battery. You got Hundley from Arizona. You got Stauffer from Richmond. You got Headley from Tennessee. You've got Alonso from the University of Miami. You got Jerko, West Virginia. Venable, Princeton. Northia.
You got Leeds, Central Michigan.
Central Michigan, you bet. And don't forget graduate work at Indiana. They're doing okay this year in basketball.
They're doing really well. Yes, they are.
Yeah, the Fighting Chippewas of Central Michigan. They even won yesterday. What a day.
Who'd they play?
Northern Illinois. Isn't that your area?
Up in DeKalb. Yeah, the Huskies.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, I've really missed you. We didn't get together much in the offseason. I missed you.
Well, you're traveling over to Africa, and you're going to, Honduras and Spain and,
Portugal. You're close.
Iceland. Going to visit Bobby Fischer.
2-2 pitch just misses. The count full now to Jimenez.
Just missed. But you see the late tail there, trying to get that inside corner.
Chopper to first. Alonso will take it to the bag himself. 1 away. Let's go to Laura McKeeman. What do you have for us, Laura?
Dick, I spoke to Stauffer this morning, and he said he's actually feeling better than he thought he would at this point in time. Of course, he's no stranger to recovering from injury. He also told me that it keeps him coming back every time when he thinks about the camaraderie and the competition in baseball. He does get frustrated with all the injuries, but he loves the camaraderie, being around the guys, and he said as long as his body allows him, he'll keep coming back.
All right, thanks, Laura. A first-round pick by the Padres, and was honest beyond the point when the Padres went to sign him out of Richmond. Said, I've got a sore shoulder.
What a story.
So he took a $500,000 cut by being honest. And, that's the kind of man he is. Padres' best golfer. You don't want to tee it up with him unless you got a good game. 2 or 3 handicap. Alexei Ramirez, the White Sox shortstop, grounded to third his first time. And a high hopper to Cabrera. 2 away. Yeah, they're calling safe at first base. Dan Bellino. Whether Alonso came off the bag prematurely. And let's check it again.
Kind of tough to tell from that angle.
He was scraping with the spikes to get at the bag, and he pulled off. So that'll be an error on. He wasn't pulled off the bag. It was just a matter of Alonso stretching out to receive. Wait for the official score. We're going to guess error 3. That's correct. Brings up Stefan Gartrell, who flied to center field. His first time. Gartrell, a minor league season last year at Gwinnett, hit 20 home runs.
I didn't really think that was that blatant to it. I thought it was, that play's made all the time. It's spring training.
Routine. The umpires take pride in getting it right. Infield looking to turn two. They've got a pair of double plays already. Line drive into center field. Solid shot. Gartrell moves Ramirez to second, and the White Sox with one out have the tying run coming to the plate.
Anytime Tim Stauffer misses up in the zone, he's going to get hurt. That pitch looked like it was down. It was away. Gartrell, though, goes down and gets that ball and serves it right at the center. That's good hitting by Gartrell. I don't think Tim Stauffer could have really made a better pitch there. Maybe down a little bit more.
So Keenan Walker, he took a third strike facing Anthony Bass, his first at bat. Takes outside, ball one. You know, it's hard to say, you go to the game and you see something. You never know what you're going to see, including Logan Forsythe hitting 2 triples in the same inning yesterday. We were over at Maryville, the home of the Milwaukee Brewers, and it's quiet, small crowd, and everyone enjoying about the 5th inning. And there's a foul ball hit off the third base side. And the Maryville Stadium is a little different than here in Peoria. There's a concourse, and then there's the concession stands there, and the restroom facilities. And there's hardly anyone over in that area, and the ball bounces off the stands and up on the concourse and on the concrete. There's only one guy over there, and he's racing, trying to chase after the ball to get the souvenir. He's racing and racing, and he goes up on the concourse, and he comes to a door and puts on the brakes. He goes into the women's restroom, and this lady slowly walks by him and goes into the restroom, and she gets the souvenir. And it was just where everyone could see it. It was
perfect.
A great chuckle. Swing and a miss. And there's the changeup from Stauffer to Walker, and the count goes 1-2.
So with the error in this inning, Tim Stauffer having to pitch from the stretch and runners on, so he can incorporate some of that off-speed stuff. And Dick, as you mentioned, that changeup there, good pitch in that situation. A lot of pitchers in this, or a lot of hitters, I should say, looking for the fastball, and he pulls the string.
Tough man to double up. Walker's speed. Takes it, strike 3 on the inside corner. Stauffer has his first strikeout. And time now for our Saquon strikeout.
Change up, the pitch prior, swing through, and he freezes it with a fastball inside corner.
Two-seamer, huh?
Great location by Tim Stauffer. Gets him looking.
That's a good pitch for him. He starts it just a little inside and gets that left-handed hitter to back off. So 2 outs, and here's Gordon Beckham. He flied to center, his only at bat. Good slider.
Yeah, good movement outside part of the plate.
Well, Stauffer, not only one of the older players at 30, not that old, but he's the longest tenured Padre now that Frieri is off pitching for the Angels. So he carries the gray beard tag as a Padre that's been around in San Diego longest of all. 0-2.
Remember we were talking to Josh Burns and talking about attitude, about players and their demeanor. And Tim Stauffer's under that category to where he doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low. Logan Forsythe is like that. Jed Jerko mentioned in that discussion with Josh Burns, the general manager of the Padres. And I think that tells you a lot about an athlete. Those are the kind of guys who are really confident in their ability. They don't let the tough times get them down. And when they're going really well, they don't, get too high.
Well, the guy that never got too high or low, but he got low a lot because that's where he pitched, is Randy Jones. There's Randy. He's in camp for a couple of weeks and sharing his wisdom about pitching with the Padres staff. I mean, if he threw a ball just above the knees, that was way too high. Swing and a miss. And Stauffer Pitches out of trouble here in the 5th with men at first and second. He strikes out Walker and he fans Gordon Beckham. Halfway mark of this one. 4.5 in the books. The Padres by 3. From the Mesas of Arizona, Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball by Saquon Casino. Get away for the day at the close and friendly Saquon Casino, celebrating 30 years of gaming in San Diego. With Mark Grant, Dick Enberg, Laura McKeeman down in the Padre dugout helping us with the interviews and background of this opening game of our 10 telecasts here in the spring on Fox Sports San Diego. Padres with a 3-0 lead. First ball hunting is Everett Cabrera. Left fielder Wise tucks it away for the first out. New pitcher Matt Lindstrom on the mound now for the White Sox. Was with Arizona last year.
Not a lot of work with those D-backs. 10 2/3, 10 hits, a couple of walks, not bad, but a strikeout per inning pitched pitcher. Always working from the stretch.
So Reed goes just the 1 inning with 1 strikeout, the former Aztec. Didn't get it up there on the radar gun. That one at 93 miles an hour. Venable looped a single to left and scored in the first inning on Headley's double. And he popped a third his last time up. Now the thought of the fences being moved in, and there's been a lot of talk about how that's going to impact the game. There will be more home runs by the Padres and the opposing team. I think it's going to make for more interesting. Fans like scoring. And many feel that this is the man that will benefit most for the Padres, Will Venable, with the fences being closer in right field. They went back and looked at near home runs last year. Balls caught right at the wall warning track, and Venable might have had 4 or 5 more homers than his 9 last season.
If you're a historian about San Diego Padre baseball, remember when San Diego Stadium was built, they had that concrete wall. You had to hit it up and over that concrete wall, and then they put the temporary fence inside. Nate Colbert would have hit, if he had that inside fence at the old, Jack Murphy San Diego Qualcomm Stadium, he would have hit well over 50 home runs.
Well, it's going to be a bit better, but it's still going to be a pitcher's ballpark. The marine layer isn't going to change, we suspect. And taken for strike 3 is Lindstrom. Takes Venable down on strikes. 2 away. Fox Saturday baseball returns. 3 great matchups. Angels outfielder Josh Hamilton. Yes, that's right. With the Angels against his former teammates, the Rangers. The Yankees will battle the defending American League champion Tigers, and the Cardinals take on the World Series champion Giants in a rematch of the NLCS. The debut of Fox Saturday baseball, April 6th. Padres, of course, open the season April 1st in New York, 3 games against the Mets. Then they go to Colorado for 3 and return home on that next Monday. They get Tuesday, the 9th against the Dodgers. Not an easy opening schedule for the home team. I mean, they get the Mets on the road, Colorado on the road, then home against the Dodgers, home against Colorado for 3. Then on the road, Dodgers, on the road, Giants. It's no easy picking there.
Remember those 2 games in San Antonio as well before we hit the Big Apple. So that's a long road trip.
Headley slaps one down the left field line, and it's playable as Wise chases it down, and Lindstrom works a 1-2-3 5th inning. Padres using RBI doubles from Maben, Hundley, and Headley to build a 3-0 lead as we go to this 6th inning. And a new pitcher for the Padres is Daniel Stang. There are his numbers last year at the Padres AA team in San Antonio.
Dick, you were talking about Stang's fastball, and when you look at the statistics, the number is 64 punch-outs in 53 2/3. That's a pretty darn good sign from this big right-hander.
Well, he pitched against Milwaukee earlier this week, and the scouts had him topped out at 96 miles an hour.
Only 3 home runs in 52-plus innings.
He faces the top of the White Sox order. Wise, Morel, and Flowers scheduled. And this is about the time where managers go to their bench and use reserve players. .94 on that fastball, and someone must have been barking from the Padre dugout.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that one?
I think the first one was a darn good pitch as well. Stang could be 0-2 rather than 2-0 right here.
Now 3-0. He's 27 years of age, born in Orange County. Went to Elsinore High School. Attended the University of California, Riverside. And gets the strike there, 3-1. So you wonder, he was up briefly with Arizona for a cup of coffee, pitched 4 games back in 2010. That's his only major league experience. Grounded just foul. But when a man can throw up higher than 95 miles an hour, you wonder, what's wrong here? Why is at 27 hasn't he made a club?
I would have to think secondary breaking ball and also location of the fastball. You know, we've seen it, Dick, and you've seen it probably more than anybody. You could throw 100 miles an hour. If you cannot locate it and you don't have a breaking ball to go with it, chances are you're probably not going to go too far or be around for it.
That's why they call it pitcher, not thrower.
That's right. Darren Balsley, one of the best. Having a guy like Stang and working with Darren, hopefully it works to his benefit.
Pulled to the right side, an easy chance for Jerko. One away here in the 6th.
Hey fans, get your tickets to the biggest matchups of the year before individual tickets go on sale with the Padres Budweiser 6-pack. No, we're not talking about my stomach. Choose either a Friday or Sunday game against the Yankees and pick 5 other games of your choice. Get your Padres Budweiser 6-pack today at Padres.com or get on the horn. 619-795-5555.
Well done.
Thank you, my friend. Mine's more like a keg.
But you know what? That really is, for fans, a terrific opportunity.
Absolutely.
You get 6 games of your choice, including 1 Yankee game, and those are all going to be sellouts. So let's say you want to see the world champions, the Giants. You could pick 5 Giant games and the Yankees at the best of a bargain.
You can't beat fun at the old ballpark. A great deal.
Morel swings and misses, and Stang takes care of him. His first strikeout, and he'll bring up the DH Tyler Flowers.
So Morel gets stung by the Stang slider. Look at this one.
That's like a mushroom, the way that one curled.
Man. Good looking pitch. Sweet lid. Mia Farrow.
That looks like the hat you were wearing today.
We got the sweet lid working today. Can't wear it with my headsets, though. That's a good look.
That's a good look.
Yeah.
Your hat looked like something you'd see down at Del Mar, right on the rail, whispering, "Want a tip? You want a tip?" Now that's more my style right there. I like the pose as well. No, I take it back. I like that one better.
That's a very good looking hat right there.
Now that's a fedora. 1-1 the count. Boy. Stang is making the White Sox hitters look bad. Flowers waving weakly at that one.
I look at the delivery of Stang. He's nice and easy. Nice flow to his delivery. Not overpowering, but still a nice, tight, biting slider. That's a good lid.
Just missed at 95 miles an hour.
Every guy out there should have at least one hat in his closet. The go-to hat to protect that, that head of yours on a sunny day.
Breaking ball just off the edge, and the count goes full to Flowers. I like hats. I mean, I like those. You go back to those black and white days in baseball. All the men wore hats to the ball yard. Fastball, strike 3. A couple of strikeouts for Stang. Impressive again. 1-2-3. The Sox story in the 6th. The Padres lead it 3-0. So if you're just joining us, the Padres struck in the first inning off Jake Peavy as Chase Headley doubled in. Venable had walked. Good pitching has been prominent for the Padres. Only 2 hits allowed. Starter Clayton Richard along with Anthony Bass and Tim Stauffer, limiting the White Sox to just a couple of singles. And a 3-0 Padre lead. The other 2 runs came in the second inning off Peavy for San Diego. A single by Denorfia and back-to-back RBI doubles by Cam Maben and Nick Hundley. Nestor Molina. And the first pitch is swung on by Yonder Alonso. And hardly moving in left field is Wise to make the catch. So 3 outfield outs made by Alonso today. 2 to left and 1 to center. Here's Jed Jerko. He's fouled out and struck out. New third baseman Connor Gillespie. Nestor Molina, the new pitcher for Chicago. Right down the middle. A ball and a strike. To Jerko.
We talked about the home runs, right, Dick? I'd like to see Jerko lay into one here on Fox Sports San Diego on this lovely Sunday afternoon.
And he drives that one into left center field, and that's between the outfielders. Cut off nicely by Wise. Jerko hustling to second. Better hurry, and he just does beat the throw from the outfield. So there's a sample of his hitting talent. He's got quick hands, strong to the ball.
Looks quiet at the plate. Sees the pitch as well. First pitch fastball there from Molina. Second pitch not biting on the slider. Elevated fastball all over it. Nice short quick compact swing from Jed Jerko.
As he registers his 6th hit of the spring. 3 home runs and a double now. 2 doubles for Jerko. So he's gone extra bases most every time. And the Padres today with 4 doubles. Chris Denorfia a chance to pick up another run. Lines it to right field, but that's right at Gartrell. And Jerko back to second base. Denorfia 1 for 3 on the afternoon with a run scored.
You know, I think of players like Jed Jerko, Dick, and we've heard about him the last couple of years, but you know, imagine the pressure that is on the youngster. All the hype, right? The numbers in the minor leagues. First year big league camp, has a chance, or he was there last year for a little bit, but you know, and going out and putting up the numbers he has in the short time, it really tells you something about the youngster and his makeup as a player.
He's from a talented athletic family. His older brother was a starting linebacker for the University of West Virginia. He lives in Morgantown, home base of the university. He said he's been practicing hitting since he was 4 years old and still goes back to the same coach after 20 years.
Really?
In the offseason. Here's Maben. An RBI double and a fly ball to right. Takes a strike from Molina. You know, the nicknames of players. You know, usually they take part of the last name. That's your, you know, that's your nickname. You know, Matt Headley's Head, or Hundley's Hun, or Cameron Maben's Mabe, or
right.
Kotze's Kotz. Now you got Jerko.
Right.
So what do you call him?
Jerk.
High pop up. First baseman Canerco calls off the catcher, and that's the final out. But we'll get back to the nickname story.
Way to swing it,
What
Jerk.
does he want to be called?
You know, everybody has
6 innings complete. The Padres 3 runs, 6 hits, and an error. The White Sox no runs, 2 hits, and an error. As we move to the top of the 7th inning, Daniel Stang, an impressive inning, and pitching has been outstanding today for the Padres. And the new pitcher for the Padres is Wilfredo Boscan. He was picked up as a player to be named later. Pitched at Frisco last year. 7-5 record. Well, joining us down in the dugout, Padres center fielder Cameron Maben, an RBI double in the 2nd inning today. And Cameron, you put on a little weight this year, and I'm talking about that as a compliment.
Oh, I appreciate it, Dick. It's been a while since we talked. How you doing?
We're doing fine, but it's good weight. You muscled up. How many pounds you put on?
I put on about 15, 16 pounds this offseason, so it was a productive offseason. Felt like I got a little bit faster as well. You know, had to learn how to carry that extra weight around.
How did you gain the weight, Cameron?
Hard work, Mud.
Yeah.
You know, what else?
Throwing those plates around?
2-a-days, you know, hitting the weights, man, and, you know, just working hard, man, trying to get stronger and be ready to, you know, play 162 this year. That's the goal.
And the wrist? How's the wrist?
It's doing well. It's doing well. We've done a good job of, you know, getting a treatment on it, aggressive treatment. Just staying on top of it. It feels good, and, you know, I feel like, you know, it won't be a problem this year.
Well, Cameron, I know it was a nightmare the first half of last year, and then you put it all together the second half. So what are you going to do that you don't want to do from last year?
Again, you know, we did some really good things second half. We made some adjustments, just getting it down early, you know, and getting a pitcher we can handle. You know, so I think if you look at the second half at bats, you know, the ball and play production, the strikeouts are down, giving myself a chance to get on base, and when I get on base, good things always happen. That's a fact. And, you know, just continue to try to be a tough out. And, you know, I had a lot of good work with some really good hitting guys this offseason. So, you know, I'm looking forward to, you know, getting after it.
Cameron, after the season last year, did you take some time off just to clear your mind and body, or did you get right back into it trying to adjust for this year?
I took about 4 days off. You know, last year was one of those years where, you know, I was knocked down, but the best in the game couldn't knock me out. So it was a lot of motivation to you know, not take too much time off, work out smart, and you know, I was able to do that and you know, get bigger, get stronger, get faster, and I think you know, a lot more mental confidence, and you know, I'm looking forward to going out here this year.
We were talking with Josh Burns, our general manager, about the most exciting play as a fan to come to see, and of course I love the double play, but when it comes to excitement, the triple or the great catch taking a home run away from the opposing team are right at the top of the list for both Burns and myself. And now the outfield and right center, that fence is lower. You're going to have more chances to climb and steal those home runs.
Well, I guess Daddy Longlegs can get to work. it'll be fun. I'm excited. You know, people ask, you know, what do I think about it? Well, you know, it's going to be a lot less room for me to cover, so it's going to make my job a lot easier from a defensive standpoint. And I think it's going to give me opportunities to make some really, really spectacular plays.
All right, keep smiling, Cam.
Yeah, do you think it'll take much time for you to adjust with the new dimensions there, Cameron?
Come on, Mud. I'm an athlete.
Yeah, you can adjust.
I'm ready to go.
That's awesome. Well, we're happy for you, the way you turned it around last year, and fortunate to have you in San Diego.
Well, thank you guys. Hey, Mud.
Yes, sir.
My dad loves you, bro.
Hey, say hi to Rudy, would you?
I will.
Love him.
Thank you, Cameron Maben. Yeah, he's personality plus.
Yes, he is.
And even though it was tough for him in April, May, and into June, he always was there, said, yeah, I'm coming back, and he did.
And very accountable, too. The one story that sticks out, last year we're checking into the hotel in Milwaukee about 2:30 in the morning, and Cameron and I are walking just into the lobby, and he says, Mud, I got to apologize to you. And I said, what do you got to apologize to me for? He goes, well, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
There's a looping single by Jimenez off the end of the bat. Only the third hit all singles for Chicago.
And he said, I got to start pulling my weight. I need to make an adjustment. And the point I wanted to make was that, you know, he's accountable. He knew that things weren't going his way. It took a lot of hard work. And he never made an excuse. And we're glad to see that the wrist is healed, and hopefully he gets off to a good start this year.
A couple of changes defensively here as we catch up with substitutions by Bud Black, a new third baseman, Gregorio Petit at third, and Jason Haggerty has taken over at first base for the Padres. Here's Ramirez. He's grounded out and safe on an error. That was the play where Alonso came off the bag prematurely. And here are those defensive changes behind pitcher Wilfredo Pascan. On the infield, Haggerty at first, Petit at third. The outfield, Blanks comes in and left. Decker, local lad from Peoria, center, and Asensio in right field. We'll set up the position in the batting order for you. Some managers will go straight up and down for whomever you might have replaced. You hit in that batting order. Bud likes to keep the announcers busy and try to chase around the scorebook where to put them. And we'll have that for you in a moment. 2-0 now, the count to Ramirez. 3-0 Padres here in the top of the 7th inning. Glad you're with us. Our first telecast of the season, 10 of those here in the exhibition Cactus League, including tomorrow and again on Tuesday, both at noon in San Diego. And we're pleased that so many of you who could not get our telecast last year have made changes and are able to see Padres baseball. More than 80% of the county. 2-1 coming up. Off speed. Ramirez way out in front. Here's the TV schedule here in the spring. The Dodgers on Tuesday after we go to surprise Rangers tomorrow. Then the following weekend, the Giants and Angels. And then the third weekend, Mariners and Brewers. And then in San Antonio just before the Padres go to open the season in New York against the Rangers. Breaking ball out in front, popped up off third. And Petit gets a chance early on, 2 away. Hit a home run yesterday. Pascan, he might be a sleeper as the battle goes on to make the pitching spots on this Padre roster this year.
Darren Balsley says he's a 4-pitch pitcher. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. And there's a soccer fan taking in a big league ball game. Yeah, back at you.
That's how the baseball looked to Chase Headley last year. About
absolutely.
That size. Gartrell is flied out and singled and takes strike one. Pascan was the player to be named later when the Padres traded Corey Burns, the side-arming right-hander, to Texas. He has not seen any major league action. He's only 23, one of the many outstanding talents to come out of Venezuela. Breaking ball pulled to Petit. He'll go the short way, short hops, and Jerko stays with it. Now he's shown that he can handle the glove, Jerko. I'm convinced he's going to be a solid second baseman. So the White Sox and Padres, bottom of the 7th inning. They've gone through the traditional 7th-inning stretch, and let's go back to the hands of Jerko. Handles a tough low hopper here with the runner bearing down on him.
Great job, because his stretching towards the outfield part of second base, towards left field. This is not an easy throw.
Huntley, first ball hunting here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and he fouls that one back into the crowd.
You know, he also put himself in a position, it looked like, where if he wasn't going to catch that ball cleanly, he was going to keep the ball in front of him, preventing it to go into shallow right field. So all around good play by Jed Jerko.
Josh Fegley is the new pitcher for the White Sox. Check that. Fegley has gone in behind the plate as wholesale changes are being made, and we try to catch up with the men wearing the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Oh, don't you love spring training?
Oh, it's great. Molina stays on the mound for his second inning. And we'll catch you up on the other defensive moves for Robin Ventura's White Sox. Hundley doubled in a run in the second inning, and he took a third strike his other at bat.
Well, they're not paying attention to the game, but actually, you know what? They're communicating through texts. They're not talking to one another. They're texting one another.
Travis Buck will pinch hit for the pitcher. He's on deck. Line drive, base hit Hundley. He continues to swing a hot bat this spring. That's good news as Hundley delivers again. Leadoff single.
Great recognition on the breaking ball. Watch Nick. He kind of strides, keeps his hands back, recognizes it. Okay, it's not a fastball. I got to stay back just an instant to take that ball up the middle of the diamond. Good at bat by Nick Hundley.
Let's go to Laura McKeeman.
Guys, Nick Hundley actually spent New Year's Eve with his dad on his back patio in Las Vegas, and they weren't partying like you might normally in Vegas. They were actually burning things, and he burned the Padres 2012 schedule. His dad, who's the safeties coach at UNLV, burned their schedule that ended in a 2-11 record. So he's ready to put last year behind him and already showing that he's definitely doing that this spring.
All right, thank you, Laura. Yeah, the off-season work, and of course his dad, as so many fathers, have been a major influence in player's career continues. Travis Buck wastes no time. First pitch grounds to first. Hundley moves to second base.
You know, for some players, spring training doesn't mean anything, right? But I think this is a crucial spring training for Nick Hundley. The way he's swinging the bat and the way he's making contact to carry over into the season.
Valdez, Jonathan Valdez, is running for Hundley. Out at second base with one out. Cabrera takes it high and away.
It's such a fine little point, but just staying back that one little extra millisecond to stay on that. If you start a little bit too early on that breaking ball, you're going to lose all your power. Nick keeps his hands back and rifled that one to center field nicely.
Kyle Blanks has been positioned to hit second, so the lineup now is Cabrera, Blanks, then Decker hits third, Petit fourth, Jerko still in there, then Haggerty, Asensio, Hundley in the pitcher spot, and that'll change almost as quickly as we announce it. And Cabrera takes a strike, 2-1. He has struck out, walked, and fly to left today. Valdez at second base, the pinch runner, and the count goes to 3-1. Blanks has had a terrific spring so far. Best on base percentage in all of the Cactus League.
Boy, if he can stay healthy, I'd love to see him 100% and see what he could do.
Kyle Blanks, the 200 was from last year. He's hitting 500 this year, 9 for 18. This is what I like about Cabrera. He's up on the handle now with 2 strikes on him. Gives him, there's a chance he was fooled on the pitch, but up on the handle, you have time to foul off a good pitch.
And more back control, right? That's a good call, Dick. He recognizes breaking ball, choking up, stays back a little bit. His body's going forward and just picks that ball out of the glove of the catcher, it looked like. to stay alive.
Gives himself another chance, another swing. 3-2. And he hits it well, but that left fielder, Wise, has been busy all day. He gets another put up. 2 away. And a reminder to subscribe to MLB.TV Premium today and watch over 150 select spring training games live. Plus, every regular season game is live or on demand on over 250 mobile and connected devices. So visit Padres.com for details. 2 outs, and Kyle Blanks makes his appearance this afternoon. 9 for 18 spring, a couple of RBIs, and a .583 on-base percentage for the big man. And he takes strike 1. That's a pattern with Blanks. He rarely swings at the first pitch. Last year in injury plagued again, Blanks, and he got only 55 games in 2 years ago. And he one-hops it to the third baseman. Gillespie throws him out. Padres gone in the 7th. On to the 8th. 3-0 for the home side. And welcome back to the Valley of the Sun. Spring training Cactus League. More games than ever. In fact, the Padres, you add up the 37 spring games. I guess it was 38 because there was a split squad. 200 games this year.
Unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Plenty of baseball coming our way this year.
Arturo Lopez comes in. Padres using their 6th man on the mound. There are his numbers in Mexico. This is Lopez's 2nd trip to the Padres in the big leagues. He pitched just in 4 games back in 2009 and was injured in 2010. Has worked his craft in the Mexican League the last 2 years. Left-hander with interesting stuff. You never know. You're left-handed. Get the ball over.
Yeah.
There might be a place for you. If not here, somebody else's bullpen.
Well, you saw those numbers in Mexico. A lot of hits, 132 hits and 86 plus innings of work. It's a lot of base runners.
Keenan Walker, who started and has struck out both times, took 3rd strikes against Anthony Bass, and Tim Stauffer will lead it off for the Sox here in the 8th inning. And a chance for the new Padres 2nd baseman. I believe that's Galvez now there at second base. And there's one away. Here are the changes for the Padres defensively.
Hey, folks, tomorrow on Fox Sports San Diego, hockey heats up when the Ducks head to Phoenix against the Coyotes. It's going to be a great game. Coverage begins at 5:30 with Ducks Live. Hockey has a new home, and it's right here on Fox Sports San Diego. Sorry about my Hawks being undefeated.
Boy, they've had it.
Unbelievable.
Isn't it? Beckham. Gordon Beckham getting his third at the bat. He is flied to center and struck out.
Dick, my Blackhawks are 19-0.
Yeah, but they weren't your Blackhawks a couple of years ago when they were 0-19. How's that work? Mr. Fairweather.
Hey, my idol growing up as a kid, number 3, the captain, the chief, Keith Magnuson. God rest his soul.
Wasn't Bobby Hull?
I loved Keith Magnuson because I met him. Went to a luncheon with my dad, and I was hooked ever since.
Is a young man all ready for the action? A ball and a strike to Beckham. You know, it's part of the challenge of these spring training games, and it happens in every site, in the Grapefruit League as well. And you know, massive substitutions, and you have players that some of those you don't even have a number for them because number 99s out there. And I think what we ought to do is Bob Uecker has his own system. When you get after the 5th inning, when the substitutes all come in, he doesn't tell anyone's name. I mean, he just says, "Line drive, base hit, one on, one out." Here we go, the pitch. But only Uecker could get away with that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That bobbled it short and then kicked. And that's there's Galvez and Valdez of the new double play combination. And that was Valdez.
It looked like he had plenty of time to get in front of that and field the ball in front of him, but he elected to go with the backhand. Could not find the handle.
Now this man can really hit, and they really like his bat. His glove, he's going to need some work. They put him in left field the other day, and he's still chasing a couple that he missed. And you know, if he improves his defense, he's a young guy to watch.
6 years in A-ball, last year in Double-A for the first time in San Antonio for Valdez. That's a long time in A-ball.
Dwayne Wise, he's 0 for 2, did walk in the first inning against Clayton Richard. Richard started, went 2. Bass a couple of innings, allowed only 1 hit. Stauffer 1 hit in 1 inning. Stang no hits in his inning. Boscan no hit, 1 hit in the last inning.
We've seen Lopez change-ups, breaking balls, trying to spot the fastball. Trying to trick him out there, keep him off balance.
Carlos Sanchez runs for Beckham at first base. Rene Rivera, the new Padre catcher, with that bluff throw. Haggerty coming in to play first base. Rivera probably ticketed for Tucson. Will back up Hundley and Baker in case help is needed. That'll be out of play. Connor Gillespie is on deck. Arturo Lopez on the mound. Up the middle, good backhand. Galvez, Valdez, Haggerty, a double play. The Padres turn 2 for the 3rd time today, and that's the White Sox story in the top of the 8th inning. Padres bring up a Decker, Haggerty, and Jerko in the bottom of the 8th. The Padres come up bottom of the 8th with a 3-0 lead here in Peoria. The opening television game on Fox Sports San Diego, and another one tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Actually, noon on the West Coast. Or do we get that hour back?
It'll be noon. It'll be because the time changes until next week, okay. March 10th.
All right. Well, someone's anticipating that.
That's right.
We want to get that hour back. It'll be Eric Stoltz, a left-hander, did a terrific job last year, 8-3 with an ERA under 3 for the Padres, the veteran from Indiana. And Yu Darvish, he was paid high numbers, and he delivered good numbers for the Rangers last year, 16-9. Hope you'll join us tomorrow at noon here on Fox Sports San Diego. The new pitcher is Deontay Heath for the White Sox. There's his numbers at Charlotte last year. Now he's wearing 54, and if you were here earlier in the game before the first pitch, you might have been confused because 54 was worn by another man. We'll tell you that story in a moment. Jeff Decker leads it off. His first time up. Decker, then Petit and Galvez to hit. Well, there it is, 54 worn by Peavy, and look at the Peavy. That's adhesive tape.
Yeah, somebody got the athletic tape out and did a pretty darn good job of putting Peavy on the back of that jersey. He forgot to bring his jersey.
Yeah, a little weak on the V, but other than that, the Peavy was spelled in nice, clean, adhesive letters. They forgot his jersey, and so they gave the rookie Heath 54 to Peavy, and then the jersey arrived in time for Peavy to wear his number 44. Decker wields one into deep left center field. That's way back, and that ball's gone. Jeff Decker touches them all. His first homer of the year. The Padres lead it 4-0. He's got a lot of fans here. He went to high school in Peoria, lives here just miles from the ballpark.
Boy, great extension and some serious pop going the opposite way. Good piece of hitting by Jeff Decker. You betcha, Dick. With the friends here and family, if you're going to homer, doing it here in Peoria is extra special.
And he had a big double the other day to beat the Dodgers in the 9th inning. Gregorio Petit, a slow roller to first, and a 3-1 put out. And that'll bring up Jonathan Galvez. Galvez has had a couple of big base hits this spring. Check his report card here in Cactus League action. 5 for 12, comes out at 417. Double and a triple. And they like his bat. Two and one. Padres with a run in the first on a RBI double by Chase Headley. Doubles by Maben and Hundley. Chased in two more in the second off Jake Peavy. And now the home run by Decker here in the 8th for the 4-0 lead. Meanwhile, Dodgers will be here on Tuesday. The Padre pitching has been very stingy. Only 3 hits, all singles. From a group of 6 pitchers, Arturo Lopez being the 6th. And down goes Valdez. 2 away here in the 8th. Jason Haggerty, the hitter, switch hitting catcher, now doing a lot of work at first base. He was used at first base in the minors on occasion. I think he played a year first base at the University of Miami in that whole string of outstanding catchers, Yasmani Grandal and Eddie Rodriguez. Haggerty, 3 catchers, all in the Padre organization.
Bud Black said before the game today when he was talking to the media that Haggerty's doing a fine job over at first base. Pretty athletic.
Had some power from both sides.
Yeah.
Two outs here, bases empty in the 8th, and a run home on Decker's home run. About 5'7", but he packs a punch, this kid. Haggerty 1 for 7 this spring. Skies that one shallow and left. Long run for Wise, but the shortstop able to cut over and make the catch. Padres add a run. Decker. He's hitting it home, and he knows how to find long range. 4-0 Padres. Welcome back to Peoria. A comfortable day. Lots of cloud cover. 4-8 and 2 for the Padres. No runs, 3 hits for the White Sox. Chase Headley got the Padres off to a 1-0 lead with an RBI double, chasing home Venable in the first. Then Cameron Maven double into the left field corner, drove in a run. Denorfield, who had singled, and Hundley followed with another double off Peavy to make it 3-0. And you just saw the home run by Jeff Decker to the opposite field for a 4-0 lead. Here in the top of the 9th inning, it'll be Tommy Lane on the mound for the Padres, the 7th pitcher used by Bud Black today.
Well, Tommy Lane made a splash last year into the big leagues in Atlanta, doing a fine job. And looked like he was very comfortable out on the mound, making some good quality pitches, facing some bona fide big league hitters. And you can see the opponent's batting average last year. In 16 2/3, they only hit a 148 clip off the big, tall left-hander.
Facing Connor Gillespie. No, check that. It's Tyler. No, it is Gillespie. It is Gillespie. And then Flowers on deck. And then Konerko, we can see who's going to hit for him. Remember that day in Atlanta? I'll never forget it because no one knew who Tommy Lane was, and he hadn't received a lot of publicity in terms of the minor leaguers. Not much talk about him. We were in Atlanta, a steamy day, and we get on the bus to go to the ballpark, the late bus. I'm on there, and I looked at him and said, "Who are you?" And he introduced himself. We had a little chat. He said he just called him up, and of course he was full of adrenaline. He was all excited about the chance. And all he did, his first time in the big leagues in Atlanta against 3 tough hitters, strike out the side, remember?
Yeah. Outstanding effort by the left-hander. And one of those pitchers who has come to the realization that, I feel very comfortable coming in out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he had been a starter and just wasn't working out for him. And he didn't want to give up his dream. And one of the answers was, hey, why don't you try to be a relief pitcher? He's got good stuff, especially tough for left-handers. And 9 outs he's recorded this spring, 7 strikeouts.
He's got some deception in that big frame of his. Throws across his body a little bit. Good breaking ball. Tough to lay off. But one of the things Bud Black said before the game about that, starter being a reliever, as a reliever, to make that transition, you've got to be on board. You've got to have the mindset that say, hey, if I'm going to help the club and I'm going to be in the big leagues, I better accept it being a reliever.
Right back to the mound and off the shins of Lane, and by the time he picks up the ball, it's a base hit for Connor Gillespie.
Let's start something, White Sox. Right now, keep low. Let's go.
Well, the big left-hander, what kind of a fielding position is he in? Pretty good. That ball just got up on him quickly.
Yeah, the way he was able to scamper after it, it doesn't appear there's anything other than the pain of giving up a base hit.
Here we go now.
Flowers.
Here we go.
The DH for the White Sox comes up. He has walked, singled, and struck out. Lane trying to seal the win here, get the final 3 outs. 4-0 Padre lead. Again, noon tomorrow here on Fox Sports San Diego. And then again at noon on Tuesday, we'll be televising Rangers from their complex in Surprise off to the west from here, and then back here in Peoria against the Dodgers on Tuesday. Sharper to short. There's one. Back to first. In time. Another double play. The Padres turn their 4th double play of the afternoon.
Hey, a nice double play, and I think the first base umpire, Dan Bellino, might have reservations at Don and Charlie's over in Scottsdale.
Is that where they go? Seth Lohman will hit for Konerko. The veteran Konerko went 0 for 3 on a line-out double play, a ground-out double play, and a ground ball to third. You give a plug like that, then do you get a free meal when you go over there?
No, it just came to my mind because it's. If you haven't checked it out, it is a great place.
Yeah,
awesome, great ribs.
By the mound, no, a foul ball. Foul at the plate off the foot of the hitter, Lohman.
Well, Padres individual game tickets go on sale, Dick, Thursday, March 7th. You can get your tickets to all big games, including opening day and the Yankees' first visit to Petco Park. Be sure to buy your tickets early and save at Padres.com or get on the horn at 619-795-5555.
Yeah, and I think the same plan as last year. The earlier you buy the tickets, the better price they are. Look forward to seeing you at beautiful Petco Park. Many of you have made your plans already for opening day against the Dodgers on Tuesday afternoon, the 9th. Fouled at the plate, and the count 2-2, and the White Sox down to their final strike. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the San Diego Padres may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Diego's Padres. Down low, and the count full to Lohman. Josh Fegley is in the on-deck circle. Should Lohman reach safely? Whoa, high and away, and on board is Lohman with a walk.
Let's go, Josh. Here we go, Josh.
So Josh Fegley steps to the plate for the first time. So it'll be tomorrow at Texas. Yu Darvish for the Rangers and Eric Stultz on the mound for the Padres. O'Sullivan, Boxberger, Ray, Brock, and Stites are also expected to pitch. So if you get a chance to see some of the young names on the mound for San Diego. High strike to Fegley.
Pretty nice facility over there in Surprise as well. They share it with the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, there's some absolutely beautiful ballparks down here for Cactus League. 2 strikes now on Fegley. 2 outs, man on, and the Padres trying to come away with their 6th win here in the first week or so, and their first shutout. White Sox with a shutout win yesterday against the Reds. Allowed only 4 hits, and the Padre pitching has allowed only 4 hits to Chicago today. So turnabout fair play. Hangs it outside, 1-2. Fegley 4 hits and 12 at bats this spring, including a home run. Two and two. Richard, Bass, Stauffer, Stang, Boscan, Lopez, and Lane collaborating. 7 pitchers on this shutout bid. The only player with 2 hits, Nick Hundley, RBI double and a single. Line drive, left field, hooking, foul. Steve Tollison is in the on-deck circle for Chicago. Robin Ventura going with many of his reserve players in the game today. Big exception being Paul Konerko. 2-2. A strike away from a win. Tommy Lane. Line to left field. Blanks is there. And the ball game is over. The Padres win it 4-0. 7 pitchers. Scatter 4 singles. Jeff Decker, the local product, with a home run to spice a 4-0 victory as the Padres out-hit Chicago 8-4. That's it for us here at the Peoria Sports Complex. The final 4-0 San Diego. Tune in our telecast tomorrow. The Padres hit the road to face the Texas Rangers at noon right here on Fox Sports San Diego. For Laura McKeeman and Mark Grant, this is Dick Enberg. Thank you for joining us. The final again, San Diego 4, the Chicago White Sox 0. We leave you now with our final take.